Welcome to Meet the Candidates 2025 on KOAL 107.3 FM and 750 AM. Tonight, we'll hear from 4 candidates running for Green River City Council: Tonya Bigelow, Conra Weber, Stephanie Crabtree, and Larry Packer. Let's go live to Green River City Hall, where tonight's moderator, Aidan Mortensen, is standing by.
Hello and welcome to Meet the Candidates here on KOAL 107.3 FM and 750 AM, as well as on our YouTube channel, KOAL Castle Country Focus. I'm your moderator for this evening, Aidan Mortensen. Today we're meeting the candidates for Green River City Council: Tonya Bigelow, Conra Weber, Larry Packer, and Steph Crabtree. Over the next hour, they'll be answering questions that have been emailed in by the community. If you want to get involved in future Meet the Candidates event, send an email to election2025@koal.net. Again, that is election and not elections. No S on that one. Now, before we get started, I'd like to go over the rules and format for the evening. Tonight's event is open to the public, and as such, we'd like to ask that the members of the public please refrain from any distracting behaviors, including cheering or booing. If any such activity is to occur, we will pause the event until order is restored. Also, at this time, we'd ask you that you please silence your cell phones, again, to limit candidate distraction. The format for tonight's event will be as follows. Outside of the initial introduction and closing questions, in which candidates will have 3 minutes to respond, each candidate will have 2 minutes to answer the question that has been emailed in. The order of who will answer first has been decided before we began. After the first is their time to go, the others will have 2 minutes to answer as well. Following the initial 2 minutes, candidates will have an additional 60 seconds to expand or respond to someone else in their answer, after which the other candidates will also be afforded an additional 60 seconds to answer. We will follow this format throughout the evening. If you want to stay up to date with election information across the state of Utah, whether it be Carbon County or Emery County, visit vote.utah.gov. So, starting off with Miss Weber, you'll have 3 minutes to answer probably the easiest question of the evening. Please introduce yourself to the public. You'll have 3 minutes.
Can you all hear me okay? So I'm Conra. My family has been in Green River for 3 generations. One of the things that my claim to fame is my first nursing job was at the clinic here in Green River. So I have a huge love for the clinic. I received my bachelor's degree from Westminster College. I have been working on my master's degree at the Colorado Mesa University. I feel like the one thing that I can bring to Green River is communication. I'm a strong communicator. I love Green River, as everyone does, and my goal is to help all the citizens have their voice heard. Come to me. I'm your representative, and that's why I'm running.
Thank you, Ms. Weber. Ms. Bigelow, we'll go to you. You'll have 3 minutes to introduce yourself to the public.
Okay. I'm Tonya Bigelow, lifelong resident. I was born here, been here my whole life. Was able to feel blessed to have raised my children here besides being raised here. And also half of my grandchildren are being raised here in Green River. Green River's been a great place. It is a great place. And we are in a position that we need to keep it that way and keep it going in the direction that the citizens, our lifelong residents, and those who care about Green River want it to go in. And Green River needs a voice. And I am not afraid to talk to anyone or anybody. And I hope that my plea would be that if elected, that people would come to me with their concerns and questions. And I may not have the answers. I don't know much about anything, but I'm certainly not afraid to ask questions. Love Green River. And it's the best place to be, and we need some growth, and we need it in the right areas. Place for families.
Thank you, Ms. Bigelow. Ms. Crabtree, same question for you. 3 minutes to introduce yourself to the public.
Yeah, my name is Steph Crabtree. I grew up just south of Salt Lake City, and I moved down to Green River about 11 years ago. After graduating from architecture school, I worked with Epicenter, working on some housing development there, and fell in love with the town, so decided to stay. Purchased an old house that I'm still fixing up. I'm currently the assistant chief of the fire department and the chair of the planning commission. Have a lot of involvement in town and love to kind of just be more involved.
Thank you, Ms. Crabtree. Mr. Packer will finish with you. 3 minutes to introduce yourself to the public.
Yeah, Larry Packer. I've been here for 25 years. I love Green River. I used to come here to visit when my wife is a longtime resident of Green River, and she has 3 generations ahead of her. And we used to come here to visit, help out with the cows. Her dad was a cattleman, and I just felt like this is the place I needed to be. And so I've been here for 25 years. I love Green River. There has a lot to offer. There's a lot of surrounding things that go on in Green River that people need to know about. And I hope that by being on this council that I can help support that growth. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Packer. Ms. Bigelow, we will start with you on our next question. What do you think are the 2 most important needs the city government should focus on in the next few years? You will have 2 minutes.
Most important needs. Over the last couple of months, having some things come to light is we need to focus on what is important for our town and what our town. We need to see some things. A lot of the things that have gone on in the government are unseen, and we don't know that that's because we don't see any of that growth or area happening. We need to protect Green River, and we need to fight for Green River. And most of you know I've made a little bit of a stink because of our billboards that were placed that our city government leased to the TRT, Emory County, and it says nothing about Green River on there. And I've been on planning and zoning too, and we kept hearing how we were having them done. But those are our prime things. And if we're not driving people or inviting people into our city, our downtown businesses suffer and are suffering. And they're the backbone of Green River. And I think we need to focus on helping them. We've also got growth that needs to happen in Green River. We don't have a drainage plan. We can't grow without some of those things. We've got to focus on those things and be involved and ask questions, not just say yes to anything that's presented. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Bigelow. Ms. Crabtree, same question for you. Would you like me to repeat it?
No. I think the first thing is kind of diversifying our economy. I think that's been something that's maybe been said for years on the council, and they've made great strides, but I think we need to continue in that direction. We have a great amount of our population that works out of town, and I think with that they take some of that business out of town, purchases and things like that they're doing. So I think attracting what they call head of household jobs here that people can have and sustain a family and encourage that. But I think also with that and that increase of economic growth, you have to look at as a whole of what it takes to raise a family here. And I try to preach things beyond of we got to look at our youth sports, we got to look at our emergency services, everything consider every asset that comes into a head of household and attracting families here, making sure our schools can sustain that, make sure our post office can sustain that, our medical center. So keeping kind of all those balls juggling in the air at the same time as we talk about economic growth.
Thank you, Ms. Crabtree. Mr. Packer, same question for you. Would you like me to repeat it?
I think that Green River is a unique place. We're surrounded by some great recreational opportunities. And I think that if we focus on that and have the opportunity to bring people here, not just as a place to stay in a motel, but to have a place where we can build and have some real jobs to support our families. It's a kind of a sad situation that our kids all have to leave Green River to find a decent living. And I think we need to find something, whether it's tourism or something besides hotels and gas stations. We need something better than that in order to keep our kids here and grow their families, make our schools bigger, and have the opportunity for us to keep that growth going.
Thank you, Mr. Packer. Ms. Weber, we'll finish off with you. Would you like me to repeat
Please.
the question?
Please.
What do you think are the 2 most important needs the city government should focus on in the next few years? You'll have 2 minutes.
Thank you. What I hear from the citizens, probably the top concern is EMT services and the lack of emergency services in Green River. And as a registered nurse, that would concern me as well. If I were to bring a family here, I agree with the growth. Green River needs some growth. But in order to bring a family here and raise a family here, I would want to be well assured that there's quality health care for my family. So that's the one thing I hear from the community as the top number one priority, and I agree with that. The second priority I hear from the citizens is the drainage solutions and what do we do. And I know the city is working on a lot of projects, but I don't hear a lot of concrete information about the drainage. So for me, I feel like with the EMS, that is probably my top priority. I speak the language. I understand there's probably money there. I do believe that it's going to take certain individuals, quality individuals, to be EMSs. I was told last night that even if I had the hypothetical, if the money magically appeared, what about the staff? And they told me that Green River, we would have to provide our own staff. That can be a little bit difficult. Being an EMS in Green River has got to be one of the EMT in Green River's got to be one of the toughest jobs ever. In the hospital, I am required to step away from anyone that I love. I do not care for them. It's not something we do, but we are asking our citizens to step up and take care of the very people they see every day, the very people they interact with, and the very people that they love. So how do we entice people to do that? That's going to take some unique creativity. So my focus would be the EMT and the EMS services in Green River.
Thank you, Ms. Weber. Ms. Bigelow, you'll have an additional 60 seconds if you would like it to expand on your answer.
I just would say amen to the EMS services. A meeting last night let us know that there is money available, and I think we've waited a long time for the county. Maybe it's time for us to take that money they keep saying they can come up with so we could have something of our own here. We used to.
Thank you, Ms. Bigelow. Ms. Crabtree, you have an additional 60 seconds if you would like it as well.
No. Okay.
Mr. Packer, same offer for you.
Hadn't heard of that money being available until last night, so I'm not sure where that's coming from, but that would be wonderful if we could get that.
Thank you, Mr. Packer. And Ms. Weber, an additional 60 seconds is yours if you would like.
So one of the things I would like to add is, as a registered nurse, I'm no longer at the bedside, but there was a time that I was a trauma certified nurse. And one of the things that I do now is I'm the money watchdog for my particular company. I understand revenue, I understand reimbursement, I understand where it goes. I have done audits, I have done line by line audits. And if we can obtain the money, I would like to make sure that it's utilized exactly as we intended, and that is to serve the community and serve the public. I don't know if we still have an ambulance, but one of the things that I loved when I worked at the medical centers, I was the ambulance crew. That big red ambulance, I rode on that many times. And so I feel a real compassion for having that service in Green River.
Thank you, Ms. Weber. We'll move on to our next question now, Ms. Crabtree. We'll start with you on this one. If elected, how would you work to ensure that the decision-making process for the city is open and accessible to its citizens? You'll have 2 minutes.
I think our sort of leadership as in the mayor and the city manager have done great about being very open with public approaching them. The mayor has his hours. I think city manager Edward has done great in getting information out about booking appointments with him or emailing him. I think the council we have now, and I think if any of us joined, is a very diverse council with, jobs or connections or groups that they're with is all very unique. And I think that is a benefit that you have that council that can reach different age groups, different demographics, and feel approachable to anybody. I think that would be the biggest thing for me, is just making sure you're kind of out in the community. You're at high school games, you're out anywhere that someone might be out in public and want to approach and talk about an issue they're having.
Thank you, Ms. Crabtree. Mr. Packer, same question for you. Would you like me to repeat it?
I think that I've been on the council for 6 years now, and the leadership we have now, our mayor and our city manager, are so out in what they've got going for us, and what we have to approach and talk about is way better than it had been when I first started. And I would appreciate that more as we get to talk to the citizens, and they will, I get approached in the grocery store, the hardware store, whatever, with issues that they have, and that's okay. I deal with that. But I also have a phone number, and I have a email address that people can talk to me and let me know what their concerns are, and I can relay that to the council and the mayor.
Thank you, Mr. Packer. Ms. Weber, same question for you.
Redirect.
Excuse me. If elected, how would you make the decision-making process accessible and open to the public?
Perfect. Thank you. I appreciate that. And with the decision-making process, as I've said, I'm an excellent communicator. That's what I do on my job. I ask questions. I ask probing questions, and I ask really hard questions. And I want details. I hear our city council talk a lot about transparency, but then what I'm looking for is a critical detail, the absolute fine line information of what you're doing, how are you doing it, what is the timeline for completing that. With the decision-making process, I have heard things when I'm out canvassing regarding the city council, everything from they're doing a great job, we love them, to, oh my gosh, you're so disliked that people are coming for your job. I don't know that I know what the truth is exactly on that, but you can see that there's not a lot of cohesiveness. In fact, where is our city council this evening? So I feel like with the decision-making process, the city council has got to be involved. They've got to be cohesive, and they've got to be approachable and kind and willing to really take those hard questions without being offended or feeling like they're being attacked, because that's not the case. We have a job to do as city council people. It's not about being well-liked sometimes. It's not about always being the popular person, but it is about being able to take constructive criticism and come out with a concrete answer and a concrete solution and resolution for this town.
Thank you, Ms. Weber. Ms. Bigelow, we'll finish off with you. Would you like me to repeat the question?
I got it. I think we definitely have to do a better job of getting the word out, whether it be for meetings, I think we need more town halls when there's a issue coming up, because a lot of times we don't know even something that went on in the city, and and that's been brought up a lot in city council, because we get the discuss, deny, approve, and then that's all that's discussed, but we don't know what went on or the info besides that. And I know one more thing, and I've talked to the mayor about this, and he is, when the agenda comes out only on that day, and I'm not putting that on anybody because I know the city recorder works really hard to get that, I think it should be at least a week for people to know, hey, and I want to be involved. I love that they now have that comment. You come in and you can write your name and you can make a comment before the council. So if you know what's coming up, you might have something to say on that, and you can. But if it's only that day, 4 hours before city council, not very many people are going to see that. So we've got to do a better job about getting out, publishing that, whether, not everybody's on Facebook, but we need to make sure, hey, we've got this big decision coming, or we have this opportunity, whether it's inland port, whether it's something on planning zone. We need to let the people know we want your input. I want to know, what are you thinking? Maybe it's not going to be, what the city council ends up deciding. Maybe it's, maybe it's a hard thing that not people are going to, but at least you could explain it. So I think that's a big job as city council and city government, to put the word out. We've got to be better at advertising.
Thank you, Ms. Bigelow. Ms. Crabtree, you'll have an additional 60 seconds if you would like it.
I think just mirroring some of what Tonya said, I feel like when you come to council meetings, you sometimes feel like you're like in a zoo just watching something happening, and a lot of times it's not, council's kind of talking amongst themselves or making decisions, and sometimes I think that is the platform to inform the public that is showing up to those meetings and wanting to be involved. And I think I've learned a little bit from planning commission to respect those people, that they're spending their time there with you and they want to be involved in what decisions they're making. And so taking that moment to maybe explain a little bit more of what's on the agenda items, or a little bit of a back discussion of why we got to this point, so that you can respect that those people are coming and wanting to be involved in things.
Thank you, Ms. Crabtree. Mr. Packer, 60 seconds is yours as well.
The way it's presented now is not is totally legal. I mean, mayor's made sure of that. It's available to anybody that wants, especially online. We have a website that we can review these things. So in order to be more involved, maybe you should be more concerned, make yourself more available for those kinds of context, so that you can see what's going on.
Thank you, Mr. Packer. Ms. Weber, 60 seconds is yours if you'd like it.
Thank you. Yes, I agree with what everyone at the table has said. I think what I would like to see is, it is great that we can come and that we can ask questions, but I would like to see a section on the agenda where there's follow-up items. So instead of someone having to come in every week and ask about where are we at with this situation, where are we at with the memorial that was knocked down, where are we at with transportation, I would like to see on the agenda what every item that we're working on, and I know it could be extensive, but I've been a department manager over 100 people, so I know it's doable, where we're following up on every single agenda. And instead of people wondering what we're going to talk about at city council meeting, that we can say, this has been detained for 30 days, this has been delayed for 60 days, this is where we're at. That way we don't have to have that constant, where are we at? I feel like the squeaky wheel, I don't feel like I'm being heard. We could have it in writing and know exactly what the agenda is, and we could be prepared. When I come to a meeting, I want to be prepared with information. Getting an agenda 24 hours in advance does not give me time to prepare.
Ms. Weber, your
Thank
time
you.
is up. Ms. Bigelow, 60 seconds is yours as well if
I
you'd
just
like
want to
it.
comment on what Larry said. That I didn't know that that was available, what you're discussing online. So I've been on that city site, so I got to do more digging, I guess. But yeah.
Thank you, Ms. Bigelow. Mr. Packer, we will start with you on this next question. What is your long-term vision for Green River? You will have 2 minutes.
Long-term vision for Green River. So, as I discussed earlier, we are in the middle of a great recreational area. I think that we have the opportunity to become a destination, not just a hotel, motel, gas station destination. So we need to expand on our tourism. We've got great trails out here, and we get people here all the time with their side by sides, and we have some great opportunities to advance on that. And my long term is to just create the tourism.
Thank you, Mr. Packer. Ms. Weber, same question for you. Would you like me to repeat it?
It seems like Green River has always been tourism. Since I-70 has hit, tourism has been probably the heart of everything that we do. Melon farming, of course, is what we're famous for. As far as the growth, I don't know that I have a really concrete idea for growth. I know that the citizens do. I know that they can see and envision how they want Green River to grow, and that's what I would support. What I would like to avoid are people coming in, as we've seen in the past, and kind of taking advantage of Green River, taking advantage of the resources, treating us as though we don't know what we want, and we do. We love Green River. We want Green River to pretty much stay the same as it has. We want to see it grow, and we do want jobs that can support head of household, but that needs to be done with caution. It needs to be done with a lot of clarity and a lot of thought. If not, we're going to end up with people floating in, fly by night, taking advantage of our resources and leaving us high and dry, and we have seen that for generations and generations.
Thank you, Ms. Weber. Ms. Bigelow, same question for you. Would you like me to repeat it?
Got it. I'm going to say family first. That's my vision. We need things for families. We need to protect our seniors, our youth, the recreation for our youth. I know we did a big study for a rec center and all the things we need to provide for our families, and that's going to take growth. That provides for families. Is that too repetitive? But that's the kind of businesses we need to attract, and we need to be prepared for any of that growth. So all that infrastructure that we're lacking, we've got to go there. But our seniors are hurting. Of course, we've mentioned the EMS, our youth. We want this to be a place where there's things they can do. Our church building down there, the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints, during the winter, Tuesdays, Thursday night, there's 40, 50 young men in there playing basketball. The only gym that's allowed for them to be in there. Larry's been there a lot with the key. We need something like that. We work hard. People work hard here. So I'm gonna say family first. We got to put things in place that is for families, and we protect our families always.
Thank you, Ms. Bigelow. Ms. Crabtree, same question for you. Would you like me to repeat it?
No, I'm okay. I think being a town that people are proud to be from, to be a part of, to want to moved back to. I think there's so many great things about Greener that those of us have committed to be residents see, but there's also, you hear a lot of people feeling like the education system isn't the greatest or the job opportunities aren't the greatest, and they don't feel a sense of pride saying that they grew up in Green River, they're from Green River, they passionate about staying here and raising a family here. You hear that kind of talk around town sometimes, and it's a little bit disheartening. So I'd love to create just, whether it's, people are proud of the recreation that exists here, people are proud of the organizations here, people are, proud of the main street that has become, but people just being able to look at it and say, yeah, that's my hometown, and boast about it when they go out of town and talk to people.
Thank you, Ms. Crabtree. Mr. Packer, you'll have an additional 60 seconds if you would like it.
I would just like to focus on the EMS. That money that they talked about last night, like I said, I had never heard that was available, but that's money that we could use to create our a better EMS in Green River, as opposed to maybe the recreation center that it also could be used for. So I would go for the EMS if it were my choice.
Thank you, Mr. Packer. Ms. Weber, 60 seconds is yours as well if you would like it.
I'm a little sad to hear that people feel that what Stephanie said, and I totally believe her. But I'm really sad to hear that people are not proud to be from Green River, because I feel just the opposite. That is one thing. As I traveled the nation as a registered nurse, that was my proudest moment, is when I could tell people, I'm from Green River, Utah. Do you know where that is? Have you heard about us? And so that's still my claim to fame. And the one thing that I am the most proud of is I am from Green River, Utah. I don't know what there is not to be proud about here. We have great people. We have great scenery. We have great abilities to grow and be anything that we want to be. I became a registered nurse because the people of Green River helped me so much. I worked at the Sleepy Hollow. I worked at Ben's Cafe. That's where I got my money to go to college, and I'm very proud of that, and I think every citizen should be proud of that. And that's something that I will really champion and I will bring. If you are not proud of Green River, tell me why, and I will help you become proud, because that makes me really disheartened and very sad. And a little bit angry.
Thank you, Ms. Weber. Your time is up. Perfect timing again as well. Ms. Bigelow. Ms. Bigelow,
I would just like to say, yes, I am proud to be from Green River. And I think what Stephanie's hearing is maybe not that you're not proud of Green River, but a lot of people who haven't been to Green River come through and they say, what happened? Because drive through. It's not the Green River Main Street we grew up with. And I think that's it more than anything else, because everybody in this room is here because they love Green River. There's a lot of love for Green River.
Thank you, Ms. Bigelow. Ms. Crabtree, will finish off with you an additional 60 seconds if you would like it.
I'm okay.
All right, moving to our next question then. Ms. Weber, we will start with you on this one. If elected to the City Council, what would your plan be to work with local law enforcement? What would you like to change, and what would you like to keep the same? You'll have 2 minutes.
Local law enforcement. I also have a huge love for local law enforcement because my father was the city policeman for many years. In the 1950s, he was the city marshal, and one thing that he did for the town, because we did not have EMS, he talked my mother into buying a station wagon, and he became the ambulance crew. So I have a huge respect for the law. And the one thing my father used to tell me all the time is ignorance of the law is no excuse. And so I have a healthy respect. I think they have a very difficult job being on I-70. I also can't imagine what it's like having to deal with your citizens. For example, if I happened to have a warrant out and didn't know, and Sergeant Ryan had to come arrest me, that would be very, very uncomfortable. I know it's uncomfortable for them. I know it's uncomfortable for the citizens. So how I would support them is just champion them and let them know you're doing a good job. We appreciate everything that you do. They had great kudos last night from the council in Emery County about how great our sheriff's department is, how well they work together. In fact, they're so good, they kind of go above and beyond what even the rest of the county is able to do. So I guess what I would say is it's not how I can work with them. It's like, what do you need from me? How can we empower you? Because it's the same situation as with the EMTs. We're asking these people to interact and maybe have some really rough conversations and tough things they have to do with people that they know and love. And that's a very difficult situation. So for me, it's like, what do you need from me? How can I help you?
Thank you, Ms. Weber. Ms. Bigelow, same question for you. Would you like me to repeat it?
I think I got it. Our local law enforcement is the best around. And probably the best way I can support them is to obey the laws. Sometimes I'm going a little fast down Kings Lane because I'm going to the farm, but I'll do better. Um, but no, we have the best, and I think any way we can support them and bring them. They're there wherever these guys are the guys who go and sit and wait for our ambulance, and sometimes several hours they'll wait with that patient, which is takes them off the streets too. But we have the best, and anything I could do, I would hope they'd come and tell them, and I'll bring them lunch. I need to bring them a loaf of bread or something. That would be nice. Yeah, just to help them. They're in our schools. The kids know them. They love them, and I think we can help them out by letting them know things that are going on too. I've had that opportunity to say, hey, and even getting their advice how I can handle things. But we love them, we support them, and anything I can do, please tell me.
Thank you, Miss Bigelow. Miss Crabtree, same question for you. Would you like me to repeat it?
No, I'm okay. Yeah, I think working in emergency services, I think we all have a unique bond here. Even bringing in highway patrol, everybody who's kind of stationed out of Green River, it feels like a team when we're out on a call, and I think that's unique to other places where you don't experience that as much, even to the other side of Emery County. And I think one thing that I've recognized of being on the fire department that could better assist them from a city standpoint is some of the emergency planning and our preparedness within the city. The county itself does have an emergency manager that's part of the sheriff's office, but as we've all experienced, the other side of the county is a distance away. And if we had something that happened here, making sure that we're as prepared as possible till we received sort of help from the other side of the county or a different county coming in. And I've pushed a lot with Edward or the mayor on some of the things of making sure we're better prepared for incidences with the river, incidences with the train, and then some of the cross agency. I've worked with Sergeant Ryan on making sure that fire department is trained on things they're doing and EMS is trained on things we're doing, and just making sure we can all kind of be there to back each other up.
Thank you, Ms. Crabtree. Mr. Packer, same question for you. Would you like me to repeat it?
No, I'm good. I think that I have a lot of respect for law enforcement. I always have. When I tell people, when I go visit family, I have family up north in Salt Lake area, and tell them how many officers we actually have that live in this town. They're appalled. They can't believe how many of them are here, and what a good job they do. And I always relate that to them. What a good job they're doing, and they are doing a great job. And I think they have a great respect for this town, this city, and the things that go on I-70. It can attract some pretty nefarious people, but they do a good job of controlling that, and I appreciate that.
Thank you, Mr. Packer. Ms. Weber, you'll have an additional 60 seconds if you would like it.
Just a formal thank you, a huge thank you from the citizens of Green River. So from the bottom of my heart, appreciate you guys.
Thank you, Ms. Weber. Ms. Bigelow, 60 seconds is yours if you would like it.
I was just going to say, I took that as a personal, what can I do? But if we're looking forward at city council, that is a great question. I wonder what we can do as city government if elected that would more support them. That would be a great conversation to have with because that would be things I would need to be pointed in that direction. But I want to back them 100%.
Thank you, Ms. Bigelow. Ms. Crabtree, 60 seconds is yours if you would like.
I don't have anything else other than I think one of them maybe submitted this question. Here.
They didn't have their notepad.
And Mr. Packer, 60 seconds is yours if you would like as well.
I'm good, thank you.
All right, we'll move on to our next question. Then, Ms. Bigelow, we will start with you on this one. Some residents of Green River and Emery County believe that some candidates try to be elected to city council to gain business income and benefit themselves. Would you have any possible conflicts of interest that would impact you in your elected position? You'll have 2 minutes.
I don't think I do. I own a trailer park that's in the city limits. So if there was ever something that came up, I would recluse myself. And I think anybody that is elected should be. And that's a question that many people have asked. And, so I think that we need to be, if elected, that we need to be pretty transparent on what our business interests are. That's only fair to those electing, those voting, that you need to be biased or, bow out, recluse yourself from voting on those things.
Thank you, Ms. Bigelow. Ms. Crabtree, same question for you. Would you like me to repeat it?
No. Yeah, I think my only association would really be the fire department, and I think anything that gets pushed towards the city for the fire department is really the benefit of our firefighters, our emergency services, and the community members. Anything we feel like we're lacking in doing our job. But I believe I said this at the primary that I think in living in a small town, we're able to police each other as well. And sometimes you can get passionate about a subject and not realize that you're passionate about it because maybe you do have personal involvement in it. And I think everybody on council, as well as just citizens, can approach you and say, hey, you're really pushing this, and could it benefit you? And I think that's, for good or for bad, everybody's kind of knows each other's business in a small town, and that can be a benefit in that instance to police each other on the council.
Thank you, Ms. Crabtree. Mr. Packer, same question for you. Would you like me to repeat it?
I'm good. We are schooled on the ethics that are involved with being on the city council, and as far as I know, since I've been here on the council for 6 years, we've never had a problem with the ethics as far as conflict, anything like family or anything like that. It's never happened. So I think we're good.
Thank you, Mr. Packer. And Ms. Weber, same question for you. Would you like me to repeat it? Absolutely. The residents of Green River and Emery County believe that some candidates may try to be elected to the city council to gain business income and benefit themselves. Would you have any possible conflicts of interest that would impact your elected position?
I have no conflict of interest whatsoever. I have no businesses in Green River. And one of the things that I hear a lot, though, is if it's legal, we're not going to do it. And I would like to see that extended to, is it ethical? Because is it ethical and is it moral? Because we are in Green River and everything that we do affects the community. And I am for the entire community. I too have certain favorites, certain best friends, other people I'm not that fond of. That will not influence me. It never has in my profession, it never has in my career, and it will not here. But I do believe that there needs to be a definite separation and a definite division and a knowledge to the people of who's doing what and when and why and how. And how is that related to or intertwined with other businesses? And I do believe that not only do you need to step away and recluse yourself, but people need to understand, yes, we know your business, but on the other hand, and I said this during the primary, people think that they can be independent. People think that they can step away and say, I can be neutral on this. I know it's my family, I know it's my business, but I can be neutral. That is not a human trait. As humans, we're survivors. We're going to do what helps us survive. And so even though you think that you can be neutral, I don't believe that we can. And so for me, it's going to be going to be a dance and a ballet on how do we separate and how do I know for a fact that this person is voting in my best interest and that they don't happen to have some property somewhere or some sort of other vested interest that I don't know, or outside information because they have outside contacts. So I would challenge us to take that legal part further and add, is it ethical and is it moral? Because I personally feel like there's a lot of conflict. And there's a lot of things where people are saying, oh, we're transparent, but I'm not seeing that transparency. I'm seeing the exact opposite.
Weber, your time is up. Ms. Bigelow, you will have an additional 60 seconds if you would like it.
I'm okay.
60 seconds is yours.
I'm okay.
Mr. Packer, if you'd like.
No, thank you.
And Ms. Weber, 60 seconds is yours.
Ditto, what I said double.
Right, moving on to our next question then, Ms. Crabtree, we will start with you on this one. What do you think the city's government's role in encouraging economic growth and development should be, and how would you go about that? You will have 2 minutes.
Yeah, I think the city has already made some huge strides in how you can sort of enable growth. The redevelopment area that they have outlined, some of the inland port work. You can't force people to want to move their business to Green River. You can't force people to want to start a business here. And that's a tough element of how do you kind of stand in the background and encourage it and things like that. I think we, could probably do more on sort of highlighting some of the real estate on Main Street. There are some businesses for sale, looking at the land, the city getting involved in just how to encourage seeing development, how to encourage, showing that what business or what buildings, I guess not businesses, what buildings are for sale. Yeah, that's.
Same question for you. Would you like me to repeat it?
Please.
What do you think the city government's role in encouraging economic development and growth should be, and how would you go about that?
Well, the city has an important responsibility in encouraging the growth. I think the way that we should go about it is to advertise, let people know that we are available for different things. Now, we've had the lithium plant, the uranium plant that's very interested. We have that company that's redoing our sewer ponds to create more soil. And those things are good, but we need to reach out and find out what else we can do to get those people to come here. We need to be available for those companies to come in here and do, maybe come here and have that opportunity to expand their businesses here.
Thank you, Mr. Packer. Ms. Weber, same question for you. Would you like me to repeat it?
So as far as encouraging growth, I will say I think the city's doing a very fine job of finding finances, finding revenue, finding ways to help Green River grow and prosper. For me, I'm still struggling with how much I want to see Green River grow. I mean, I'm kind of stumped on this, honestly, because I feel like, once again, this is where the community comes in. What do you know that I don't know? What do you see that I don't see? You all have contacts. I mean, if it were me, I'd build a small hospital and bring everybody in and we'd all have care. But that's not feasible. So what I would like to see to encourage growth, I really want to listen to, as I call them, the old timers, the people that know what has made Green River strong and know what's kind of kept us from growing. But I don't see how we can grow if we can have all the money in the world, but if we don't have the infrastructure and the quality people to be able to help us grow, that's not going to benefit us. So for me, once again, it's back to, what do we have to offer from Green River, for Green River? Yes, we have a lot of space. Yes, we have water. Yes, we have good people. Everyone's going to want to take advantage of that. So how do we find the right individuals with the right mission and goals that are in alignment with the citizens of Green River? And this is when I feel like we should be able to honor and listen to some of these people that have been here for 100 years that some of us find maybe a little bit crabby, or maybe they don't communicate as well as we would like them. But they have the information, they have the knowledge. They knew the miners, they knew the missile-based people. They knew what made Green River bust and boom. And I would like to see them be asked more questions, more probing questions. What did you see that was successful? What did you see? Where did the city go wrong? What could we do differently? And so I would like to bring in more people. And instead of just asking maybe city council and the mayor and Edward, what do you see? What do the citizens see? What do the citizens want? We have smart individuals in Green River, extremely smart and extremely experienced.
Time is up. Ms. Bigelow, same question for you. Would you like me to repeat it?
No, I'm good. If we were there last night, we heard 93% of the TRT tax money comes from Green River for Emery County. That was a big number. I was being conservative because I figured, we must bring in at least 80. 93%. We need to fight for our share, for advertising, for marketing, for selling our community, for growth, for businesses. And if we don't fight for Green River, I've said that enough, nobody else is going to. We need to be more involved in our county government, as city government. They need to see a face. Even last night when I was talking to them, they were saying, well, we always zoom it in. And I said, yeah, but just seeing my name and my iPhone up there isn't near, is it? Whatever. As impressive as me, you see in my face in that meeting. Because we aren't represented as much as we need to be, because we can get left off over here. I did hear us called the other end of the county. You guys did too, right? Yeah. My daughter was Emery County. This is dumb, but I'm going to say it anyway. She was Emery County Queen. She's dying. But it was so funny because after she won that pageant, or that scholarship pageant, there were so many people that were upset. Why is somebody from Green River winning this? They're not even from Emery County. Huge. They thought we were Carbon County. Said, no, we're in Emory County. So that was a learning curve. But we have that resources and we need to use it. We need to market our and advertising with social media, with all the things, websites we need to do, and that should be part of our job as that.
Thank you, Ms. Bigelow. Ms. Crabtree, you'll have an additional 60 seconds if you would like.
Yeah, I think just remembering all the kind of auxiliary services as well. If anybody wants to look into opening a business here or moving their business here, they're going to look at the quality of life of employees and, making sure that sort of anybody in city administration or city council is remembering, youth sports, the quality that, the schools are, medical center that turned into a wellness center. I think there's a lot of things that it may not even have anything to do with economics itself, but people are going to come in and see, oh, that might not be a good fit for my business or my employees there.
Thank you, Ms. Crabtree. Mr. Packer, same question for you. 60 seconds if you would like.
My daughter worked at the subway when she was in high school, and people would come into the subway and say, "What do you guys do here?" And we need to get the message out that we have a thriving community. There's things that we need that can be done, and that we do, and that message just needs to get out there.
Thank you, Mr. Packer. Ms. Weber, 60 seconds is yours as well, if you would like.
I definitely agree that we need to be more involved with the county. I have gone back and read some of the council meetings from the county, and I was shocked at how many times Green River came up in their conversations, but I didn't see that we had a huge representation there. So I would like to see that relationship fostered. I would like to see more involvement with Emory County and being included and pull more of that money out. Like we said, we found out last night there's a huge percentage, but pull that money out. But if we're not there and we're not speaking up for ourselves, we are forgotten, and that's been the case from the time I've been a small child. I do not think it's intentional. I do not think we're the redheaded stepchildren. I just think that it's difficult for us to be involved because it's a long drive, and it's difficult for them to be involved with us. But I think if we can continue to foster a relationship, and I felt very encouraged last night with what they had to say. I felt like they were articulate. I felt like they detailed things out so that people could understand it, and I really enjoyed last night, and I would like to see more of that happen.
Thank you, Ms. Weber. Ms. Bigelow, 60 seconds is yours as well, if you would like. You're good?
Okay.
On to our next question then, Mr. Packer. We will start with you on this one, and we'll be visiting a topic that we have discussed throughout the evening. Green River citizens are very concerned about the status of the local emergency services for the community residents and outlying areas. Both the medical clinic and EMTs serve many travelers that are not local. What do you believe the city can do to encourage locals to train to be EMTs and bring funding for a full ambulance service to Green River? You'll have 2 minutes.
I think that it's not just a city problem, it's a county problem. The county, at one time, my wife served as an EMT. She's an advanced EMT for 3 years, and things were pretty good back when she was doing that. And for some reason, the county decided that needed to go away. And so we need to work with the county as well as the city to make sure that we get this done. I'm hoping that what they talked about, that money available last night when they talked about that could happen. Maybe we even need to turn that EMS service into a city thing rather than a county thing. I hope maybe we could make that happen. I know it's a long shot, but I think that would be the best thing that could happen.
Thank you, Mr. Packer. Ms. Weber, same question for you. Would you like me to repeat it?
No, you've all heard me talk a lot about EMT and EMS, and that is what I'm most passionate about. I believe it takes a special person to be able to do this, and I think that's going to be very, like I said, very critical and kind of a ballet for Green River to be able to pull out the people that are committed to doing this. I think the thing that I would like to better understand that would help me know how to move it forward and how to get out of this situation is what happened. What actually occurred? Where did the breakdown occur? Was it within the personnel? Was it the funding? Was it the county? I mean, I've heard a lot of rumors about what actually happened, but I can tell you this. When you have someone's life in your hands, that is no time for the ego to step in. That is no time to argue. You have a focus, and you need to focus on the patient and what's in front of you. I do believe there are individuals in Green River that can do that. But what I'm wondering is if people are not stepping up, because of the rhetoric or the infighting or something like that. Is that the reason they're not stepping up? Are they not stepping up because they didn't have the equipment they need, the services they need? What is preventing people from wanting to be an EMT? I've seen a couple of people in this audience that I know are EMTs. But I also know when I'm the person on the ambulance, I want to make sure that I'm supported. I want to make sure that I have all the equipment that I need, because if not, someone's life is, it's not going to turn out the way that I want. But the one thing I will say is you absolutely have to be professional. You cannot argue. You cannot fight amongst yourselves. If you want to take it in a back room and you want to duke it out later, that's absolutely fine. But when you are a professional and you are caring for people and you are caring for your loved ones in Green River or some stranger on the street, your focus has to be that patient 100% of the time. So I would just do anything that I could. I will encourage you. I will support you. I would say that I would be an EMT, but I have done that, and for me, it's a huge conflict of interest because I hold a scope of practice as a registered nurse. So I'm willing to listen here, but what happened that it fell apart so we can improve it?
Bigelow, same question for you. Would you like me to repeat it? Green River citizens are very concerned about the status of the local emergency services for the community residents and outlying areas. Both the medical clinic and EMTs serve many travelers that are not local. What do you believe the city can do to encourage locals to train to be EMTs and bring funding for a full ambulance service to Green River?
Thank you. I love that. To Green River, a full service, I think is so important. Lived here all my life. We've had great ambulance crews, and it wasn't until the last, I don't even know how many years, 5, 10, that it's not been locally run. And whether that's county overseeing it, we need local. Right now, I know they've started a course, but in order for people from Green River to become an, you're going to have to travel. Some of it they can do online or over Zoom, but we've got to get that. The city and the county have got to work together. And the county, now I don't know how much of this, but have offered the city money, and the city hasn't taken it. Now I'm not saying that's true or it's not, because I don't know, but that's what we were told. And we have got to get it back here. There are lots of great former EMTs are that I think would step up, that had been, and wherever the breakdown, the arguments of whatever happened, but we have to have it here. For people to have to wait, even our, out on I-70 when our local crew isn't here and they've got to wait either that way. Had a brother-in-law that waited 2 hours because we had to wait for an ambulance from Moab. They didn't tell us we would wait that long. When we finally called back, oh yeah, we're coming from Moab. Not okay, especially if it's your loved one that's waiting. We got to get back local control.
Thank you, Ms. Bigelow. Ms. Crabtree, same question for you. Would you like me to repeat it?
Okay. My simple answer would be professional leadership. I mean, we've all seen inspirational sports movies where you can bring in a good coach and they can put a ragtag team together and they can be successful. It takes a unique person to be in that position because you need to have medical experience, obviously, but you also need to have leadership experience. And I think you need to be passionate within yourself to pursue that leadership experience, but also the county and the city needs to support someone in that role in getting that experience, because you are supervising and leading a crew in some of the most traumatic, crazy moments of someone's life or even their life. And so I think getting a good leader in there is going to create a crew that people want to be a part of. That's, I think, the biggest thing I've seen right now. There's people that are interested in becoming an EMT that have talked to fire department members about becoming EMTs, and you need to be a crew that you're proud to be with, that you feel confident in running with. And I think looking at kind of a rebranding, it's been unsuccessful for a number of years, and people just continue to see that it's unsuccessful. And I've talked with Edward about whether it's literally, whether it's figuratively rebranding it. I think we're going towards a lot more rescue calls, and let's train our EMTs to have a search and rescue component. And you might attract some of the younger generation to ride out there on a dirt bike with their trauma bag on their back and be able to splint someone's arm. That might be a cool attraction to some of our younger generation that doesn't seem interested in EMS right now.
Thank you, Ms. Crabtree. Mr. Packer, you'll have an additional 60 seconds if you would like it.
Well, I keep talking about the money that they told us about last night that's available. We need to make that money available and moving it around and hire within the district. If we can do that and get the people that are within this town that are passionate about doing that kind of thing, then I think it'll be successful.
Thank you, Mr. Packer. Ms. Weber, 60 seconds is yours if you would like it.
I like what Stephanie had to say about more of the rescue. And I think that's a great idea because there are two areas of this, and one is the search and rescue part that has to happen out in the desert. Takes people that can maybe rappel down a steep cliff, and then there's just the EMS that I don't that sounds so bad, just the EMS, but the people that are on the ambulance that would be running locally. So I think that would be a great idea to separate it out, and I do think it would be a great incentive, as she said, to pull in the younger people. I have a nephew in Steamboat Springs who didn't want to be an EMT, but he absolutely loved his snow machine. And so he does search and rescue because he can be out on his snowmobile. So I think that's an excellent idea.
Thank you, Ms. Weber. Ms. Bigelow, same question for you. You'll have 60 additional seconds if you would like it.
Amen to the leadership part. Yeah, we've got to have strong leadership to form that crew.
And Ms. Crabtree, you will have an additional 60 seconds if you would like.
I'm good.
All right, we will move on to our penultimate question of the evening. Ms. Weber, we will start with you on this one. How will you be an advocate for the city and the county to stop large groups of people camping in the outlying areas of the city without water and toilet facilities? You'll have 2 minutes.
Wow, that was I'm sorry, did you say me? Oh, sorry. Sorry. That was a huge conversation last night. I wasn't aware that there were so many people that were just kind of camping and living without water, sewer, and that type of thing. So I feel like what the gentleman had to say yesterday at the city council meeting for Castledale was enforce the ordinances. We have ordinances. We should be able to support them and make sure that they're occurring. If not, then everything just kind of frays, and then we start this he said, she said, well, how come they can have a trailer and how come I can't have a trailer? And then it starts unnecessary infighting within the citizens, which we do not need. So I think I would just like to see the existing ordinances enforced. That to me seems like a logical first step.
Thank you, Ms. Weber. Ms. Bigelow, same question for you. Would you like me to repeat it?
And you're talking countywide, citywide, is obviously.
Yes.
Okay. Yeah. If we have ordinances, we've gone over this on planning and zoning, and they're not enforced equally to everyone, you don't have an ordinance. And if there's an ordinance, then we need to be enforcing them. And if that's an ordinance, obviously it is, camping out, then it needs to be enforced on the day it's noticed. Maybe it can't be, maybe you don't notice it for a day or two, but if you let things go on for a week, 2 weeks, then everybody says it's okay. If you don't enforce it, you don't have an ordinance. So enforcement has to be done. However, whoever that lies on, if I have to go and knock on a door, I probably could. I'm that brave. I'll take waiter in with me. But yeah, thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Bigelow. Ms. Crabtree, same question for you. Would you like me to repeat it?
It's okay. I think a little bit dependent on whether this is like city limits or county limits. We have had some incidents within city limits that I think, yeah, some have been addressed and some haven't. I've seen people that have been living in a trailer that have moved, and I've seen other people that are living without sewer and water that are just staying where they're at. So, yeah, I don't know if that gets to enforcing an ordinance or even beyond. I mean, what's the step beyond that? Is someone who's trying to enforce those getting enough support behind them? As far as kind of countywide, I know, I guess I would push back the question of if they're on kind of BLM land or things like that, what enforcement can we really have? I know that comes into sometimes a law enforcement problem. If they're having issues, it can come to a DNR type problem of things out there. I know we've had some incidences with fire people. That's a concern. You start to live out there in the winter and you have unsafe conditions of how you're trying to stay warm in there. And so some of it could be transient support. We've had, people's houses that have burnt down and they don't really know where to go after that, and they end up living in a camp trailer certain places. So how are we as a city or the county who has those kind of resources coming in and supporting? I know one fire that we had, Red Cross was called. That was the only instance I've ever known that Red Cross was called for one. So being able to support people when maybe they get in a situation where that is their only answer.
Thank you, Ms. Crabtree. And Mr. Packer, same question for you. Would you like me to repeat it?
I think the ordinances need to be enforced. They are in place, and that if we can keep that going. And maybe if it involves law enforcement, so be it. But let's keep the ordinances in place and make sure that we have those ordinances in place so that we can address those.
Thank you, Mr. Packer. Ms. Weber, you'll have an additional 60 seconds if you would like it.
I think the only thing I would add is that we can see the effect of not enforcing ordinances within our own city limits. So we can see areas that are not clean, areas that are fire hazards. And to me, that's a huge concern because if my neighbors are a fire hazard, then that means I'm at risk for a fire hazard. When we have dirty properties and properties that are ill kept, we run the risk of rodents, which then increases diseases, increases illnesses. So I think globally, it's great to think about the county, but I think we need to start first locally, and that can be a little uncomfortable, but it needs to be done.
Thank you, Ms. Weber. Ms. Bigelow, you will also have an additional 60 seconds if you would like.
I'm okay.
Ms. Crabtree, same offer for you.
Okay.
And Mr. Packer, same offer for you. Before we move on to our final question of the evening, I'd just like to take a second to thank all of you for taking the time to be out here tonight. Events like these are very informative and important for the public. I'd also like to thank all the members of the public who have shown up tonight to become informed, because an informed decision is the best decision that you can make, especially when it becomes such an important race as is City Council. Again, if you need to find more information on how to track your ballot, how to register to vote, things of that sort, you can visit vote.utah.gov. And we'd also like to give the city of Green River a very big thank you for letting us use their facilities tonight. For our final question, we'll go back to our introduction rules, so you'll have 3 minutes to answer. It kind of follows along with that similar easy feel to it. And Ms. Bigelow, we'll start with you. Why should the citizens of Green River vote for you as their next city council representative? You'll have 3 minutes.
Thank you for that. I appreciate all of these that have showed up and those that may be listening online. I just want people to vote. Please vote. And I've tried to tell, if you're not registered, go vote. I would so appreciate a vote. I hope that I am, and people look at me as an ear, that I will listen and I will represent them. If I don't have the answers, I will go find out. I've tried to do that just in the last few months with this election. I feel like I have a good pulse for all areas of Green River, having lived here all my life. My parents, my grandparents, we can go back. I love listening to Ben because we can go back to the 1800s because he's that old. No, he's not that old. But I love that because I care about our history, our present, and our future, and I want it to continue to be a great place. Proud to be a Green Riverite, and I would just hope that I could represent, and I will do my best to represent those citizens, whether they vote for me or against, not against me, for or not. Yeah, because I care about everybody and all aspects. And bottom line, I love Green River and I care about Green River. I care about where we're going. Every decision that we make, where is it going to lead? That's what we've got to look to. What precedents are we setting? And fairness, equality for everyone. And I can't say enough how much I love Green River. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Bigelow. Ms. Crabtree, same question for you. Why should the citizens of Green River vote for you in this upcoming election?
Well, I can't claim the Green River right, like everybody up here for the length of time they've been here, but I think in the time I have been here, my involvement in things has really kind of diversified. The people I've spoke with, the groups I've been with, came here working kind of housing development, got to know a lot of the contractors, have created kind of relationships to be able to talk to them about things that are going on, being on the fire department, being on planning and zoning. I think one of the most important things I learned when moving here is to go to like the gas station and get coffee at 6:30. Those are some of the best conversations with the workers that are up early in the morning, and that was where I really found this turning point of gaining respect in town is going there and just showing that grind and having those conversations early in the morning. So I think just my involvement in things and the relationships I've made with people in town.
Thank you, Ms. Crabtree. Mr. Packer, same question for you. Why should the citizens of Green River vote for you in this upcoming election?
Well, I've been on the council for 6 years. I've got some experience. I know that there's a lot of issues that need to be resolved, and we're working on them. And I'd like to continue that as because of that experience, that maybe I could continue to do those things that the citizens want. I get cornered in the grocery store, the hardware store, even on the street sometimes. People will stop me. I've been flagged down driving my car around, and that's great. I'm willing to listen, and don't be shy about approaching me, because I am willing to listen, and I will take it to the mayor, to the city council, and make sure that those questions get answered. Thank you.
Mr. Packer. And Ms. Weber, we will finish off with you tonight. Why should the citizens of Green River vote for you?
The citizens of Green River should vote for me because I have your best interest at heart. I've always said when I move back to Green River, I'm going to get involved. I'm going to serve. And the reason I am is because the citizens of Green River helped me be successful as a professional. We are looking, as Stephanie said, it'd be great to have a leader for EMT. I am that leader. I speak healthcare. I understand emergency medicine. I understand rural healthcare. I have worked at Castleview Hospital. I actually helped open Castleview Hospital. I worked at St. Mary's Hospital. I've worked at major hospitals across the nation, but nothing compares to being able to look at your community, know what they need, and know that you can be of service, and I can be of service in that area. I am open-minded. I am respectful. I am approachable. I am honest and honorable. I am a vault. If you tell me something, I will never repeat it. That just is who I am and the profession that I'm in. So the reason you should vote for me is I believe that I can make a difference, and I will strive and do everything I can to make a difference for this community. But where I know I can make a difference is with your health care, including the clinic, including the global health care in Green River, as well as the surrounding areas. That's my area of expertise. You are the citizens that help me be able to accomplish, and it's my turn to give back to you, and that's what I will do.
Thank you, Ms. Weber, and again, a big thank you to all of you for taking the time to come up here at this event tonight. We really appreciate it. It takes a lot of courage to put yourself out in front of the public like you have this evening. So again, thank you for taking the time to come up here with us. Again, this is Castle Country Radio's Meet the Candidates, and tonight we have been meeting with the candidates for Green River City Council, Tonya Bigelow, Steph Crabtree, Larry Packer, and Conra Weber. Again, we'd like to thank all of you here in attendance at Green River City Hall for taking the time to come and watch this event. And we'd like to thank our listening audience on KOAL 107.3 FM and 750 AM, as well as our streaming audience on YouTube at KOAL Castle Country Focus. Tomorrow we will continue with our Meet the Candidates series of events when we travel to East Carbon to meet the mayoral candidates for East Carbon City. Until then, signing off for all of us here at Castle Country Radio, I'm Aiden Mortensen.
You've been listening to Meet the Candidates 2025 Green River City Council Edition. Tomorrow, we'll be live at East Carbon's courtroom as you'll hear from the mayor candidates. To get a full schedule of our upcoming forums, visit castlecountryradio.com. Each of our sessions are available to view on demand on our YouTube channel, KOAL Castle Country Focus.